Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna play My Dear Hatchet Man. Just got update for day 2. Let's begin. What's your name? Enter it and press enter. Lion. What's your gender? Female. Your gender is female. Is that okay? Yes. I tend to run away from my problems. It's how I end up here in the first place. Doomsbury, located somewhere in Massachusetts, with a small population of 30,000 people, or so. It's known for being a college town where most young adults have taken over the streets and businesses. It's got a rich history from cryptids to devil-worshipping cults. If you were a gang of crime-solving teens and their dog, you have your work cut out for you. I just had to add the Scooby-Doo reference. And the dog. You meddling kids! You meddling kids! If it wasn't for you meddling kids and your dog, I would have gone away with it. But the townspeople revel in the mystery, urban legends, and strange folklore. Considering how quiet the town was usually, anything that was a break from the monotony gained notoriety. Mainly people, especially families, would come and dump their kids for summer, spring, or summer break. Just like Gravity Falls with Dipper Maple. You know, a boomer's worst nightmare. I drag my claws into sleepy town, attending Doomsbury University. For the past few months of my fall semester, so I fell into a routine: eat, sleep, study, and repeat. I mean, that's in general most people. At first, I was decided to come from a new town over. Receiving the acceptance letter was the best thing to happen to me. Never been to Massachusetts, even though I do have family there. I was headed to a new life, one way more different than who I was. I wanted it more than anything. So once a chance was given to me, I took it. Hook, line, and hook, line, and sneaker. I was doing this for a while, but it was hard to make friends. I was isolated. The only times I left my house was to grab a slice of pizza or some coffee from the cafe. I sort of trapped myself into the cycle. Sometimes I won't even bother to eat and slug down sleeping pills. Does remind me, not the sleeping pills, but I need to remember to keep half the time. To say this move wasn't going smoothly would be to underestimate it. To say the move wasn't going smoothly would be the understatement of the century. It's not like I hate it here. Maybe it was just doomed to be miserable no matter where I went. I mean, I'm much happier here than where I used to be. That's not saying much, though. I wandered into the woods thinking that maybe a walk could wear me out and I could catch up on some sleep. What about the sleeping pills? That we still said we don't eat it. We forget to eat and then take the sleeping pills. It's like, which is not a good thing. I think it needs food in the stomach. I know for iron you do. There was nothing fun about laying in my bed, Okay, there was nothing fun about laying in my bed until I passed out. Staring into space until I passed out. So I decided to leave my cave for some late-night snacks from a local convenience store. And their staple of Doomsbury is the mystical and expansive forest that surrounds it. And here I am going in the forest. Wood trails that trails that could take you to the many businesses and homes. Oh, the natives knew the trails like the back of their hand, and I was so sure I did too. And I failed miserably. I was pretty familiar with my usual path on my walks, staring at the same sidewalks or kicking the occasional pebble along the dirt paths. Walking didn't take up much of my time, though I wish it did. I wouldn't say I'm much of a nature lover, but the woods do look nice, especially during golden hour. Tonight, I decided to take a different path. I wanted to see what the woods could bring me. A shortcut, or maybe a thought, you could say. I'm just thinking of the paper. Maybe I could find a cool-looking stick from the ground and pretend it's a sword. I admit it doesn't sound like much, but given the circumstances I have to work with, what I got. It's like, no, I'll I would probably stab myself by accident with the wooden sword. It was starting to get colder. I could tell by the numbness nipping at my fingertips. I jammed my hands into my pockets of my pants, trying to get some feeling in them. And that's why I always have gloves. Wait a minute. Then again, where I live, it's not cold, cold compared to Massachusetts at all. It's like night and day. Wait a minute. Where exactly am I? God darn it. Well, this is just perfect. I'm all alone in the woods, with no service, no sense of direction, and it's dark out. Oh, I'll be like Zorro. This situation. Just keep wandering. I'll find a way out eventually. It's up in Canada. That's what I get for being adventurous. I'm an idiot. My eyes scanned around through the thick foliage of the trees. How long was I walking for? I couldn't have walked that far out, but it was too late. A little too late for that now. The soles of my feet were aching. I sat on a large log as a sort of makeshift seat to relax and collect my thoughts before I had a mental breakdown. I sighed slightly, grimacing from the cold, hard surface of the rock. I dropped my plastic bag of goodies onto the grass. My warm face crickled from the cold breeze. I'll be over there snacking. I'll find it in the morning. I would have a jacket on. I don't know what to do. I couldn't believe I'm lost out here. What if I died? It could be weeks before my body was found. Okay, not weeks. Maybe. I sniffle, wiping away the small tears forming in the corners of my eyes. At least I have my snacks. I got lost in the Renaissance Fair before. That was more scary than probably getting lost in the woods. So, actually, being in the woods, if you have a lot of cult stuff, that'll probably be scarier because you have to have double worshipping cults. Your hand reaches down to rummage the bottom of the bag, feeling around for what I could get my hands on. I feel something wrapped in plastic and pull it out. I grab an off-brand healthy granola bar. Healthy granola bar that was coated in chocolate and some caramel drizzle. Not exactly the most exciting choice, but screw it. I needed something to chew on. I struggled with the wrapping. It was getting in between me and my somewhat healthy crunchy bar. The deafening silence was disturbing. The deafening silence was disturbed by what seemed like the sound of a twig snapping. I'm gonna jump. My legs lock me in place as I shoot upwards in fear. What the heck made that noise? I was starting to get the sense that I wasn't the only one here, and that I was being watched. Calm down, Ryan. Maybe it was just an animal. Or maybe not. Of course I would be murdered in the most cliche way ever. It's like... watched way too much Scream. Oh wait, no, we're in the forest. Maybe Jason Voorhees? I gawk at the pair of glowing, predatory eyes emerging from the forest. My heart was racing, and I could feel my blood running cold. I think he was getting closer to me. Scream! Attack! I'm gonna need to scream. I didn't have anything else I could do. I huddled myself, trying to desperately appear small, like some kind of scared animal. Not putting up a fight. I let out more of a yelp than a scream out of sheer desperation. I threw a random snack from my bag at him. Is that all I can really muster? Me grab the bag and just start beating him up with the plastic bag. Nothing but a pathetic call for help. I shut my eyes, waiting for some sort of shock or a hit to the head, but...
Are you lost?
I do like the new voice. So, if you haven't already heard, the creator had to recast Alan's voice, the voice actor, because the other one just ghosted them, so... I hear a concerned voice. Cautiously, I lower my guard, taking a peek at who exactly was in front of me. This handsome guy, who I have on my bed along with a Peter plush. Because I got one of the plushes that were made. I couldn't make out his features well, but his hair stuck every which way out of his head. He appeared to be holding something. A hatchet. Something wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. This guy seemed oblivious to the situation at play here. I was so stunned I couldn't even speak. My eyes were too focused on the hatchet. He was resting across his shoulder, just so casual-like. The guy tilted his head to the side, confused by my uneasiness. Oh, this? He held out his hands up before letting out the hatchet slip from his fingers onto the patch of grass beneath him, slowly moving to show that he was harmless. He did all this while putting up a friendly smile. Take it easy, I'm not gonna hurt ya. Are you lost? Oh yeah, what makes you think I could trust some guy with an axe in the middle of the forest like it's nothing? Oh, don't worry. I'll trust Jason Voorhees. I found 3 dating sims with him. 3 Jason Voorhees dating sims. Not 2, 3. I'll put the other one up in another date, but yeah. The stranger only replied to my question with a smile. It was only making me more nervous. And it was only a demo. Well, answer me. It's a hatchet. Huh? It's a hatchet, not axe. I blink at him. Was he mocking me? Is this all just one big joke at him? At him? Is this all just one big joke to him, not at? Is this all just one big joke at me for him to laugh at? He was acting way too casual and didn't try to pull anything once. Was I overacting? I didn't put down any of my defenses though, so I continued to eye him suspiciously. Are you going to answer my question now? He continued to have a small, almost innocent smile plastered on his face. It annoyed you. It kind of charmed you. Well, we're going to probably do the more romantic route, but first, it kind of charmed you. It's slowly, but still cautiously, I wore my guard. However, my eyes stayed glued to him, waiting for a moment he may do something unexpected. Answer me first. Riddle me this. He lets out a chuckle at my response. I noticed his movements weren't fraying and seemed to be casual. Alright. I'll comply. He puts his arm up, almost like he was trying to surrender and play off my interrogation. Would you rather be stuck in the woods than... No. Then you should trust me. Easier said than done. He placed a hand over his mouth, trying to hold back a chuckle at my snarky remark.
Well...
You got me there, but do you know how to navigate your way back? Nope, I'm Zoro when it comes to directions. Do you? There was a small beat of silence before he raised his hand. He was wearing brown fingerless gloves. I know these woods like the back of my hand. You learn a thing or two when you live out here. I'll even walk in front of you, so you don't feel all antsy. I take a few steps to think over his offer. I didn't exactly want to be stuck here forever until my body got discovered by a search party or even by vultures or wolves. Whoever this guy was, he was the best choice I had for now. Fine, lead the way. He smiled at me, reaching down to the ground and picked up a sturdy hatchet, perfectly sticking out from the soft turfs of the grass. He swung the tool back onto his shoulder. If I catch you doing anything remotely suspicious, I'll start swinging. Wait, he swung it back on his shoulder. And I'm the one that's spraying him. That I'll start swinging. When am I gonna start swinging? His hatchet or the bag? I hear you loud and clear. Ah, so adorable. He offered me his hand. I could barely make out the calluses, meaning it the hands he works with his hands, and a few scratches from his hand. It was still a bit hesitant. I was still a bit hesitant, but I took it anyway.
Let's go.
Let's get going. Get you somewhere safer. His grip was surprisingly strong, but he wasn't squeezing my hand or anything. The trees were becoming less dense and the more we walked together, with the light of the moon guiding me through the forge. Now and again, he would give me a small glance, and in return, I got a better glimpse of his features. Particularly his eyes were the most notable. Both of them are a different color. I couldn't help but stare at them like I had spotted a rare creature in the wild. I mean, there's characters that have two-colored eyes. Shota from My Hero Academia. I don't think I had seen you before. Are you new around here by chance? I was a bit caught off by surprise, not expecting him to bring up a conversation. I just realized I had been looking at him without saying a word. Well, I moved from the next town over not too long ago. He perked up with interest. What made you decide to stay in good old Doomsbury? I merely shrugged at him. I had lots of reasons for staying here. I doubt this guy wants to hear about my problems, and to be frank, he was near a perfect stranger. I can't spill my guts out. I won't spill my guts out, but I'll tell him something. One to get out of my bubble. To put it simply, Doomsbury University seems like the best school for me. How's that going for you? Horrible. I want to go back to Arizona. Wait, that's the next town over. Screw it, I'm from a different state. Oh, you know. Perfect, fine, super.
Oh, that bad, huh?
I cringed, not much for being vague and mysterious. The guy chuckled more under his breath as he continued to guide me through the trees and bushes. We both stayed silent, occasionally shattering the silence with small talk. He could tell I was uneasy around him. He seemed a bit sullen, like he had been looking forward to talking with me. My short response and constant fidgeting told him that I was still on my guard. Not that he blamed me. He was sure he'll be cautious of some dude with a hatchet too. As we continued our track, the tension we had before slowly dissipated. I stopped being afraid of my own shadow. With time, the unkept dirt path of the woods merges with the edge of the sidewalk, a sign of civilization. Well, if I could practically kiss the ground right now. Okay, don't do that. Probably dirty. Looks like we finally made it. Oh my god, thank you. Jeez, I owe you one. I finally let go of his hand, shuffling mine into my pockets. Don't mention it. Wasn't an issue at all. I turned over to him, scratching the back of my neck, and feeling the chills of the cold air tickling my skin. Listen, you didn't murder me like Ghostface, and that's all I could ask for. I should at least return the favor. The guy didn't even give it a thought, as he grinned ear to ear. Tomorrow, meet me back in the woods, and we could get some more snacks from that place. Yay, snack time. He pointed at my plastic bag. Oh, sure, this... It wasn't until I looked down at that and saw a decently sized hole had tore its way. Only a few of my snacks had survived. It must have ripped along the way. Or when we tried to throw stuff at him, I groaned. Are you kidding me? That was my dinner. I'll get you some more stuff tomorrow, deal? I looked at him with sad, tired eyes. He gave me a sympathetic smile. For some reason, I trusted him. I don't know how else I could explain it. Deal, and thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow then. He continued to stand in his place while I turned my back from the woods, walking into my neighborhood once again. Stopping at the front door, I gave him one last wave. I couldn't tell from the distance, but he seemed to wave back. I'm so tired. It's not even an apartment, it's just a house. Exhausted, I immediately threw myself onto the bed, tossing the plastic bag onto the floor. Finally, I could get some rest. God, my feet are already aching. How long did I walk? It seems incredibly late. My eyes, they feel heavy. I won't feel safer. Whoever that guy was. Wait, I didn't get his name. I'll ask him tomorrow. I feel heavy, like I can't get up. Something is on top of me. Oh God, how long did I sleep? I must have passed out and slept like a rock. Last night. Oh yeah, I was lost in the woods, meeting a strange dude, after he scared the living daylights out of me. And he promised me some snacks for today. I feel some mix of comforting jitters sinking in. It hasn't been long since I moved in, and I wasn't exactly rubbing shoulders with my neighbors, but I still talk to them. I never heard them mention anything about a man living in the forest. If they knew, they'd probably have given me a heads up. I probably would have reacted differently. Oh, probably no. Right? No. Was I overthinking this? Probably. I should probably check my phone. I held the button on the side, tapping my foot as I waited for the lights up. My home screen brightening as the notifications tickle in. An unknown number. Hey, sorry to bother you. What chapter are we studying for the professor? This is Erica, by the way. Ah, Erica. Oh yeah, she's part of my English class. I think we exchanged phone numbers, because our professor recommended it. Intentionally, I didn't plan to ask for anyone's number, especially since I didn't know anyone in the class. I barely even talked to them other than occasionally asking someone for a pencil. Erica was the one to approach me first. She wasn't talkative either. Only answered questions sometimes and gave snarky remarks on a whim. I didn't know much about her, other than she'll be a constant center of attention with her outfits. She likes fashion. She had a keen eye for fashion, and she would constantly amaze me with how she talked. She'd walk into class. She breathes in effortlessly, like a runway model. Some outfits were her projects for her fashion design class. Others were simply her wanting to look good that day. It was pretty surprising to find out she was majoring in interior design. She'll be the best interior designer, that's for sure. Erica seemed like she had her crap together, from what I could glean from the few times I spoke to her. Chapter 4. I sent a text and proceeded to let out a groan while dragging myself up from the bed. I would much rather sleep the day away when I was promised snacks. But I was promised snacks. It's been the first time in a while that I've been motivated to do something other than rot in my room. Darn. That's kind of sad. Thanks. I chuckle at her response. That was kind of cute. Before I go out, I need to refuel for the day. I reached out to the fridge, pulling with a bit of force thanks to how janky the handle has become over time. I should get that looked at. Everything around this house needed some touch-ups, though. Maybe I wouldn't have turned down the idea of having a roommate. But I do enjoy my privacy a lot, and I wasn't keen on losing that anytime soon. That cool air of the fridge nicks at the tip of my nose as my eyes search for food. It was practically empty. Slice of leftover pizza. Toasted waffles, eggs. Slice of leftover pizza. This could fill me up for the time being. It's been there for a while. Might as well not let it go to waste. Day 1. If you go down the woods today, to the woods. I squeeze my eyes shut, feeling attacked by the blinding glow of the sun. It's too bright today. I walk to the other side of the road, frisking to the overgrown forest again. Frolicking to the overgrown forest again. I stuff my phone into the pocket. It wouldn't be any use since my service couldn't reach in the middle of the woods. I walk through the familiar path, trying to remember where exactly the guy wanted to meet. He was pretty vague on the details, telling me simply meet him in the woods. Not gonna lie, it just hit me how sketchy that sounded. It's like, yeah, it sounds sketchy as could be. Like 100% sketchy. I fell into a daze walking until everything around me looked strange. Well, that didn't take long, I guess. I just have to sit back and wait for him to find me.
Oh, you actually came.
Yep, to see you. I hear his voice again. It sounds almost in disbelief. I turn around to face him. His eyes are wide, but a smile slowly forms. He seems happy to see me. Hey, Alan. It's like, yeah, we haven't had his name yet, but... You thought he was gonna ditch you or something? Well, maybe. He laughs nervously, under his breath, scratching the back of his neck. Like I said, I owe you one, and I want my snacks. I can't turn down an offer like that. I got a chuckle out of him, easing him more and more into a conversation. As soon as it subdies again into awkward silence, I shift my eyes around, trying to think of what to say next. About trees. Let's talk about trees. Oh, I didn't catch your name, stranger. I didn't throw it. I like it. I do like it. He's sticking his tongue out. Laugh, groan. So I'm trying to save every single time we can get options just to see if there's a different path. But I'm probably just going to do one path anyway, but just to make sure I already have them. I'm going to laugh. I couldn't help but laugh, trying my best to stifle it. You're serious? Jesus, dude, just tell me your name. I struggled to finish my sentence. Every vowel would be interrupted by my fit of laughter. It was even that clever, funny. I'm just acting like you could go from Persona 4 right now, then, because she can't help when she laughs. She can't help but laugh like there's no tomorrow. Alan. Yep. Alan Orn Constance. Or Alan Orion. Constance Otarai Vermont the Third. We're just gonna call you Alan, sir. Is that really your full name? I squint my eyes at him. Nope, it's just Alan Oron. Alan Oron. Well, you're already lying to me. I can't believe you, Alan. Well, I can, because he's Yandere. I shot back at him. In a snarky tone, Alan proceeds to place his arms behind his back, flashing his latter sharp teeth.
Are you gonna tell me your name? Doe.
Yes. He leans in, not too close for comfort, but enough that I could take a good look at his features. He had scars on both sides of his cheeks. They were small, and one They were small, and one looked like it marked X on his face. Because it does mark X on his face. His shaggy hair had bleached tips on some ends. Then my eyes fall onto his, staring directly at me like some new creature he discovered. Both of them are different in color, which I found out the day before, or night before. I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine. It seems creepy, but also familiar. I was staring at him again. Oh, YN. Pleasure to meet you, YN. Alan's hand reaches out to shake mine, and I gladly take it. So, about those snacks. I grinned mischievously. As soon as he brought up the topic snacks, that's exactly what I was here for. Oh right, we should get some. There's this convenience store around the food box, right? I go there from time to time. And I would assume you know your way out of the woods, right? Hopefully? Like, yeah, he did say he knows the woods like it's back of his hand. Alan chuckles, sensing my anxiety about being able to get out of the forest. You seem to get lost easily, huh? What would you do without me, Doe Eyes? Be like Zorro. And end up in Canada, probably. I'm not saying, Massachusetts, I would end up in a different state, then end up in Canada. He keeps calling me that, even after I told him my name. I had to check, but yeah, Massachusetts, I would just end up in Canada. There's like... He keeps calling me that even after I told him my name. It flattered you. My face turns red. My eyes shift around, and I begin to laugh. I was merely trying to brush off his comment. Come to think of it, I did find him to be cute. I mean, I could do two playthroughs and try to do one that's weird, kind of mean and weirded out, but I'm definitely going to try to be the nicer route this time. There was a beat of silence.
All right.
I'll lead the way. Cool. We both walked together, more like I followed wherever Alan walked. On occasion, he would stop and mutter to himself under his breath. I could have sworn I heard him counting the trees, pointing at them before smiling at me, and beginning to walk again. It made me curious about how he seemed to know where we were, despite how far we walked. It all looked the same to me. It was starting to scramble my brain. So what's your whole thing here? Huh? I mean, I'm assuming you live on your own out here? Not anywhere in the town. It's none of my business, but how come no one has ever told me about you? Alan looks up at the sky, giving some thought to my question, and his arms drop side to side as he walks. He didn't appear to be slowing down. I guess no one really acknowledges me or knows I live here. Everyone here kind of keeps themselves here, which I appreciate. It's like I could just live off the grid in this forest. Wait, do you not have any friends? Alan shook his head. Nope. The most faces I've seen are when I visit the store to restock on food. Family? There was a small pause, but Alan doesn't stop walking. Left them a long time ago. Oh. Dunno, I figured I would live better by myself. Nobody bars me. I don't bother them. So you're a hermit? Alan chuckled, scratching his cheek. You could say that. I nodded, understanding Alan in a way, not wanting to interact with others, living peacefully out in the woods, and then a funny thought came to my mind. But you do realize that you are talking to me, enjoying in on a snack quest, right? Not very hermit-like. Did I break your zero-human interaction record? Alan's eyes latched onto mine, his lips tugging into a smile. I guess you did. I don't mind you being my first. Aww. It didn't take long to get to the convenience store. I didn't think I minded the distance. Didn't know a conversation with someone I knew for less than 24 hours would be so distracting. The nauseously bright lights of the store pulls me out of the trance. There's a couple people in the store, mostly older men, getting a case of beer or students getting a quick lunch. A worker mutters welcome as we step in, not bothering to look up from their phone. Well, pick anything you want. It's on me. I perk up as soon as he said that. My eyes scan around every corner of the store, wondering what I could get. Ice cream, slushy, a soda. Okay, I think the last time I played, I actually did a soda. So I'm gonna do ice cream. I reached into the cold freezer, grabbing myself whatever seemed most appealing. Alan flashes me a cheeky smile. He seemed giggly that we got the same thing. I looked back and saw that Alan was also scrabbling around for snacks. Both of us were smiling brightly, like children running amok the aisles, not even bothering to get a basket for our collection. Alan instantly flashes a proud smile at me, holding his snacks scary. Got everything you need? Yeah, let's go. Alan dropped everything in the counter to pay, only to receive an eye roll from the cashier. They seemed like they just wanted to be done with their shift, to clock out and go home. We quickly leave the store after paying, bags filled with a bunch of goodies. I'm already getting hungry. He mumbles out loud as I enjoy my ice cream. I expect him to reach for the bag and start rummaging around. I expected him to reach for the bag and start rummaging around through our snacks, but instead, he unzips his jacket, exposing a hoard of chocolate bars. I blink confused. Where did you get those? When they weren't looking. Alan pulled the chocolate bar out of his pocket coat, his fingers fidgeting with the plastic wrapper as he tears it open. You stole it? He then takes a bite, smiling proudly to himself.
Yes.
Yep, I said it was on me. Yeah, touche, but didn't expect you to steal it. Alan continues to munch on the chocolate, proceeding wordlessly to finish another one out. He playfully nudges it on the tip of my nose, tempting me to partake in his stolen loot. I promise it tastes better, because it's stolen. A fresh unigiri. I like that. I was a bit hesitant, but I did end up taking the chocolate and unwrapping it. It was just candy. What's going to be so special about it? That was what I thought until I ate it. It was light. It tasted better. It tasted like shame. I laughed in disbelief. All jokes. My mom always jokes that we have a cat that will steal our cat's treats. It tastes better if it's stolen. Wow, you're actually right. Holy cow. You see? I still couldn't believe that he had stolen candy. Well, it was kind of impressive that he did it so nonchalantly and with ease. I still couldn't help but feel bad that he went out of his way to grab enough to share. Offer him a taste of your treat. Stay silent. Offer him a taste of your treat. It only seemed fair, right? I motioned my ice cream towards him. It was shaking it to single island to indulge a bit. He tilts his head like a confused dog before getting the hint. Oh! He leans forward. I felt his hand gaze against mine, pulling me a little bit closer to take a bite. His lips smack. He takes a moment to savor the taste. Then his eyes glaze up mine, staring with a smirk spread on his face. One I couldn't exactly pinpoint, but he was trying to say, but my heart felt like it was pounding. You have good taste, dull eyes. Alan then stepped away, continuing to eat his forbidden chocolate. Hey! I call out before following him right on his trail. We kept walking for a few minutes, our bags of snacks almost empty. The only thing left was the wrappers and packing. We seemed to have lost track of time, and I finally began to notice the sun was about to set. It was really quiet, with only the occasional rustling of the leaves from the trees and the rush of the water growing louder. Martian Lake? I note seeing a rare, silly-looking sign of alien during our short time here. I never visited the lake, and it was the first thing you would see when you're driving here. It's a cute Martian, though. The crystal blue water and soft sand that almost looked pink thanks to the sunset caught my eye. Did they name it, and why did they name it that? There was a beat of silence, and I looked over to Alan, who seemed distracted. He was hunched over on the sand. He was hunched over the sand. He seemed to be looking for something. For what I've heard, back in the 60s, people allegedly saw an alien walking around here. In a blink of an eye, the alien ran into the woods and was never seen again. It's just like, nope. It's like, sees humanity, it's like, nope out of there. Sounds like a typical Doonesbury legend. Do you believe the story? Alan stood up, straight again, picking up a rock and deserving it. He simply shrugged at my question. After living here, I would believe almost anything. So you have seen some things? Gosh, you could say that. Alan tosses the stone up a couple of times in the air before flinging it across the lake. My eyes follow it, and in my surprise, the stone skips across the water with accelerating speed, almost stopping. I squint my eyes. The further and further it got until it was nothing more than a speck. Then it was gone. Alan then let out a satisfied hum, and my mouth hung open in surprise. Can you teach me how to do that? Reach for a rock to throw. I'm gonna go, can you teach me how to do that? I look up at Alan with hopeful eyes.
Sure.
Sure thing, dull eyes. Here. Alan approaches me, picking up a random stone as he did. He examined it, turning it over in his hand. You can't just use any rock. It has to be very flat. And there gotta be a little nudge for you to place your fingers and grab onto it. Then he grabs my wrist gently. He handed me the rock and placed it on the palm of my hand for me to hold. Now, before you do anything, people tend to throw it like a frisbee. Don't throw it with your wrist. Fling your whole arm. I focused, taking into the consideration what Alan told me. I felt a lot more confident in how to throw. I take a deep breath and toss it again. I did it! It was a lot slower and didn't go as far as Alan's, but still. I cheered and Alan gave me a thumbs up. We walked back to my place. The sun had already set with the moon and stars taking its place. I stretched, bending and stretching my legs after all that walking. I had fun today. Did you now? I nodded to him, approaching my doorstep and leaving Alan behind. We should do something like that again. Alan's eyes widened. He appears to be quiet for a moment. We should. Aww. It all hurts. I turned my door handle and opened it slightly. See you around, Alan. Much like yesterday, as soon as I entered the house, it was as if all my energy drained out of me. I didn't even bother to go upstairs to my bedroom. I fall into my sofa, face first. I'm just gonna sleep here. The sound of the TV slowly drowns out the sound of my breathing. Soon, every single worry I had faded away. Did Alan get in here? Day 2. Better to eat you with. Whoa! I could have sworn I heard the door. Holy cow, that sounds more like a phone. My head was pounding from the intensity. What a way to start the morning. I gotta stop waking up like this in the cold sweat. What's up with me lately? Check messages, don't bother. I'm gonna check messages. My hand scrambled to whatever I had with my phone. It only took a few minutes before the vibration signaled me where it was located. There you are. No new messages, not from anyone I knew in particular, just the usual social media notifications that I wouldn't be bothered to check, and I'm missing a person alert. That's probably what violently woke me up. Probably. It was basic info description, but it seemed to be out of my control. I decided to ignore it. I lay young as I stretched, despite sleeping on the couch. I was more than comfortable. No soreness, no nothing. It was quite rare. Now, what to do to tackle today? Oh, I guess I should probably eat. First things first, I need some new clothes to wear for the day. There's Bill again. My room was practically overrun with dirty laundry, and I could barely make out the shaggy carpet floor by the mass amount of sweaters, pants, and underwear. This is a little beetle right here. I should clean this up, but my empty stomach was winning the battle of this one. Not that I had much money, but I needed to get at least a few groceries. I don't plan on starving to death. It was a little earlier than I expected to go out. It was the earliest I'd gone up in a while. Not since my few days living here. Geez, back then I was practically glowing with the ambition to start classes, ready to face any challenges head on. Until now, that is. Now we're just have, like, seasonal depression. I would either show up late or barely manage to reach my classes. It felt like a chore, like most things. Most days. I hope I don't wake up at all. Oh, we have depression. We definitely don't have depression. Well, I wonder who... Erica! She doesn't usually call. We mostly talk through text. It got me curious. What could she possibly want to call me for? Hello, Erica?
You made it.
Hey, YN? Hi, I'm not interrupting anything important, am I? I'm just on my way to get some food. But I'm fine. I'm fine talking. Is there a reason you called? I was only met with silence, but I could vaguely hear Erica make some sort of noise, like she was deep in thought. Era, are you free later? I guess.
You guess.
It's just like, yeah, I guess. You guess? Yep, I guess. I roll my eyes. Reply with sass. Reply nervously. Reply with sass. Get to the point, Erica. I got a bagel and a coffee with my name on it, and your little interrogation is not going to stop me. I heard a snort but amused sound from her. A short but amused sound from her. Often in class, I would play around with Erica's dry sense of humor. Strangely, I enjoyed our interactions together. At ease, soldier. It's like, nope, never. I just want to know if you want to study together for English, because I'm not gonna pronounce the professor's name. My roommate is off to do some arbitrary adventure, and I don't want to be cooped up here. How does that sound? I could get caught up in something. I could get caught up on some things. Better than running in your hermit cave. I sigh. Erica was unfortunately sort of aware of my situation. She has the most supernatural sixth sense of being able to read other people. You wound me, Erica. I'll meet you at the park. With that, we both hung up. Guess those are my plans for today. Unless we run into Alan, our Yandere. I continue to walk, taking the opportunity to make a mental grocery list. I could pick up the fates of chopping wood. It must be Alan. I followed the sound to where it led, not too far from the small neighborhood of the college dorms. Even when I went into the thick wood, I could still see the houses from the distance. Occasionally the sound would deafen, but I was getting closer. Alan had to be around here somewhere. Just fell silent. It's like, I know he's here. I have a sense of where Alan is. Where's our Yanderes? That's if it was Alan and not some other weird guy from the woods lurking around. They're ones like Peter's wandering around trying to stalk you. I snort out through my nose at the laughable idea. There he is. It only took a few moments of walking and I was able to spot that familiar wild man from the woods. Oh, Doe Eyes! Was a pleasant surprise. Can't help yourself but go into the woods, eh? I'm just as surprised as you are, Alan. I just followed the sound of chopping wood and figured it was you. I could see the beads of sweat slowly falling down Alan's temple. There was a bunch of small pieces of wood scattered around him. He dropped his hatchet to the ground and dusted himself off any remaining wood chips. Just carrying firewood. It was starting to get cold in my cabin. I used up my last batch last night after I dropped you off. A fireplace in a cabin in the woods sounds like you're living the dream. And you're the third yandere it was in the cabin in the woods. Third. So I would have 3 nickels for every yandere that lived in the woods. Yandere boyfriend that lived in the woods. Not a lot, but it's weird that happens 3 times. Alan went to the back of his neck, and he laughed. Far from it, but he took a second pause. A huge gust of wind blew away some leaves, dancing along with the rustling of the bushes from the trees. A short, cold breeze hit us by surprise. It's nice most of the time. Most of the time. You're the type to say you're one with nature, eh? Huh? Is that really a bad thing? I get to feed the raccoons from my trash. I think that's everyone, Helen. I think everyone could feed the raccoons from their trash. They're called trash bandits for a reason. I can't imagine what else I'll do on a Wednesday night. They're like my pets. All you need to do is have a raccoon army and probably be able to take over the world. Raccoons, Alan, that's how you get your face... that's how you got your face scratched? Alan flashes me a smile, not speaking, but proceeded to point to both his cheeks, almost as if he was showing showing them off proudly like badges of honor. Don't tell me he did. Did he name them 2? Because I would name one Rocket for reasons.
Rocket can be quite a handful. It was all my fault, though. I was being a little pushy with him.
Okay, he named one Rocky. Is it short for Rocket because that's why I would name him, because reasons. And it involves something called the Guardians of the Galaxy. You named them? Well, to be fair, I would name one. They're all Rocket. I like giving them names. Oh, so there's multiple animals included. It's like, yeah, I would name them 2, though. Oh, they're all just named Rocket. Rocket, get out of the trash. You should meet them. They're cute little guys. With their mischievous as can be. I think I'll pass. I'll be happy to meet them. I think everyone knows my answer. I'll be happy to meet them. They're all Rocket, though. As long as I can leave with a full set of eyes, nose, mouth by the end of it, I'll be sure they won't touch a single hair on that head of yours, dull eyes. I simply shook my head. The idea of raccoons sound cute, but I know not to mess with with wildlife. They're all named Rocket, though. That's still really dangerous, Alan. Alan's expression seems like that of an innocent kid who had no idea what he did was wrong. Hey, I'm still alive. Besides, you should have gotten the hint that I discard most things. You didn't complain about living so dangerous when I stole the chocolate. Because that's more normal than than playing with raccoons. Hey, don't drag me into that. You stole that chocolate. And you're my accomplice. In the eyes of the law, that makes us both criminals, though. Arrest me then, officer. Nope, I'm not a criminal. I'm gonna put, arrest me then, officer. I volunteer you as my cellmate. That way, it'll be easier to break out of the prison. Alan laughed at my jailmate escapism plan. Sounds perfect. I wouldn't mind you being my partner in crime. I could pick the locks for us. Like we're in Skyrim or Fallout? Of course you know how to pick locks. Well, he's Yandere after all. He probably snuck into our room last night. We continued to play around back and forth. It took nearly a solid minute for us to die down until we were left with a small, awkward silence, but smiling at each other nevertheless. It was only then that Alan finally said something. By the way, is there a reason you came to find me? Actually, I got out of my house to get some food, but I heard some chopping noise and I instinctively knew it was you. I said sense. Aww. Oh, the hearts again. Alan's eyes stared at me. I could tell his face just brightened up. Yeah, I could tell. The little blush in the heart eyes. You knew? I did. I could have sworn Alan giggled it to himself. His face turned red and he swayed around ever so slightly. I stayed a bit longer for small talk. I'd forgotten why I was out here. Make your leave. Ask Alan to accompany you. Are you interested in coming with me to the store? I got to get some food, so I could stock up my fridge. Are we gonna steal stuff? Of course. His face grew sinister. I'm gonna guess he got excited about stealing again. Yeah, I could tell. Cool it, Alan. You might have swindled them by stealing candy bars, but I hardly doubt we're gonna get away scot-free with actual piles of food. You don't know that. To be fair, yeah, but they keep tabs on you. We're not gonna rob the store, Alan. Alan poked his tongue at me, playfully, of course. I began to walk away, leaving him in the dust. His freakishly long legs only took 2 or 3 steps to catch up to me. We both walked to the convenience store. It was nothing more than just a casual hangout between us. As we entered through the doors, there was another employee eyeing us suspiciously the entire time. Oh, they know. I wasn't sure what their deal was. I wonder if they knew about Alan's shenanigans. They were mostly keeping an eye at him, glaring him down as Alan was invested in rotating hot dog grill. They left us alone once I paid for my food. We got to my place, bags in hand, quite the walk, but nothing we couldn't handle. Doonesbury was ideal to walk around and go to places that were easily accessible. They say fall was the best time of year in this little town. I could already see bright yellow and orange leaves cascading down from the trees before resting on the ground. I don't really get that where I live. It was pleasant to see the seasons change right before your eyes as time swiftly went by. Alan was right behind me. He awkwardly stood in the doorstep. His lips were pulled into a thin line as he seemed hesitant to enter. Don't be shy, come in. I beckoned him to take the first step. It was like trying to let in a cautious stray animal. Lost and confused, Alan finally stepped in. The creaking floorboards of the house released a small groan under him. Alan seemed to settle himself in immediately, heading to the kitchen first, before I could even tell him where it was. It's like he's been here before. I guess he was as hungry as I was. Yeah, this place is older than the town itself, but hey, it's home from now. I don't mind. You work with what you got. Like, how was the house and how was the town? I dropped the bag of food on the counter and Alan followed suit. I rummaged through, taking out the key ingredients to make breakfast. Or brunch by technicality now. Oh, I think I remember seeing this last time. To do a sleep cry. And is that Atsumatsu song like Magnet? That reminds me of the Leaf and Atsumatsu, their shirts, their hoodies. Or brunch by technicality now. I was surprised by how much food I was taking out of the bags. I didn't realize my eyes were bigger than my stomach. Shopping hungry isn't really the best idea first thing in the morning, especially when you haven't eaten in a while. Actually, they say shopping hungry is the best now, but no, it costs more. So that's just probably groceries talking. So, what are you in the mood for? Pancakes, breakfast burrito, eggs in a basket. Breakfast burrito. I'm in the mood for a breakfast burrito. They're really easy to make, and I'm used to them. Well, that's not surprising. I think it's one of those staple foods every college kid gets, I assume. Anything specific you want to add? I'm not one to brag, but I get real fancy with my burritos. You could say I mastered my craft. Fancy? Ellen cocked an eyebrow at me, curious about what I meant. I flashed him a smile, rushing to the fridge and pulling out some ingredients to make the perfect breakfast burrito. What's all this? Prepare to have the best breakfast that my tiny little hands can conjure up. My feet took me to the fridge, prying it open. Still struggling with the stubborn handle, I managed to do it, thankfully. I turned my back to get anything else I needed for our breakfast. I could hear some shuffling from behind me, followed by Alan's positioning himself next to me. Let me help you there, Doe Eyes. I jolted, startled by how close he was, but nodded as he settled in. You know how to cook, Alan?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I don't really eat or make food at home, but breakfast was always my specialty. Well, we have two Yanderes that can cook it, that are in the cabins in the woods. The third one is horrible cook. Alan turned up the heat from the stove and placed a pan on top. He extended his hand out, and I proceeded to give him the ingredients for our burritos. I could use the type of teamwork around. Specialty? Huh. Am I in the presence of the finest breakfast chef in town? Well, I learned from one of the best types of teachers. Oh, and who would that be? His mom? I wouldn't want to bore you with that. I let out a offended noise, placing a hand on my chest in a dramatic fashion. You're not going to tell me? Come on. You can't just say that and not expect me to be intrigued. He's not gonna tell me. That's something I noticed. Alan seemed to know a lot more about me than I do of him. Let it go. Alan kept an eye on the food as we continued with our conversation. The smell of the food fills the air, and the sound of the hot pan sizzled with more than tantalizing. I guess you could say that I'm a breakfast guy. Alan says as he flips the eggs. Is that all you eat? Just breakfast and no other meal to fuel your day? You're making it sound bad. You're the one being insane with your one meal. Look who's talking. Oh, touche. Touche. Alan points the spatula at me with a smug expression. He had a point there. He returned to pay attention to the sizzling eggs, expecting it to see if they were cooked to perfection. I ran around the kitchen floors, getting the only paper plates I had in the cupboards. I should add dishware to the shopping list too. It's not all I eat. When I have the time, I do eat more meals, but I don't know. He trails off. Alan's eyes now focus on the food. From the pan, I tilted my head, awaiting what else he would say. There's a ritual to it, yeah? I enjoy the process. It's very special feeling for me. That and you could eat just about anything for breakfast. Alan softly smiles at me, and I gladly return one back. Okay, Alan. Ramsay. Okay, Gordon Ramsay reference. Enough of your sensitive monologue. I got a symbol or food. I playfully shoo Alan away and motioned my hand to back him out of the position. Alan laughed, shifting himself just slightly to the right, and motioned me as if to say, all yours. Instinctively, I reached out to the handle of the pan. I was about to take it off the heat until I felt Alan's hand on top of mine, stopping me. Oh, I could get used to that. Aw. Oh. He leaned in closer to me. Cooking together, of course. Yeah. What else could I even say? He had just caught me off guard, and he was so casual over his flirting. Was that what it was? Was he hitting on me? I guess some stuff just flew over my head right now. Does cooking really make this up close and personal? I nervously laugh, trying to ease myself from this. I'm tempting to tug at my collar uncomfortably to let some cool air hit my warm skin. Is that a bad thing? I don't know how to answer that. I tried to avoid Alan's stare. His eyes were tense and gross, and whatever caught his attention. Did I happen to catch it? Yeah, cooking with someone is nice. I'm not very used to it since, yeah, I know. I gestured to my hand, signifying that I was pretty much alone in this college house. I could feel some weight mounting on me. Alan was getting closer, his chest pressing up to my back. I looked down, attempting to think of something to say. Breakfast used to be messy. This feels nostalgic. Those words came out softer than I intended as I began to fix up our plates. I was sure to give Alan a little more food. I remember walking up to many mornings, having food already prepared, sitting at the table and just listening to family. It wasn't much, but no matter what, I always felt full. Sounds like a cozy life. I was almost taken back by surprise by Alan's comment, not realizing I was deep in thought over the simple concept of breakfast. It was before it was taken away. A bee of silence filled in from the two of us. I didn't want to bring down the mood at all. I never even realized I was homesick despite doing everything to get away from my old place. Do you have any favorite foods I could keep in mind for next time? The familiar voice of Alan interrupts my thoughts. He was weighing in closer by the second. I could practically feel his breath on my face, practically inches away. He was getting closer. Kiss him. I pressed my lips to his, and he leaned in. Alan seemed like he had been longing for it. He had raised his hand rise to my cheek, craving more. He was nearly devouring my face like a starving dog. It was getting hard to breathe. I tried to pull my lips away, just for a moment to catch my breath. Ow. He smashed his lips again. I began to shudder. My hands made their way to his chest. It was a pathetic attempt to try to pry him away. The kiss was magnetic, and I only want more. Ah, our eyes. Our hot breaths hit our skin. Who knew Alan could take my breath away?
What's that? Good.
Yeah. I only let out a breathy, short laugh. I think you're rather greedy. Alan's thumb ran across my cheek, affectionately. His touch felt warm and comforting. But I think I could also get used to this too. Aw, he's so cute. There was a pause of silence between us, but the sound of my heart beating against my chest roared through my ears. I couldn't read Alan's expression. His eyes only stared into mine. What could he be thinking about? I think we should eat now, huh? We don't want the food to get cold. I heard Chloe say, wriggling within Alan's arms to the counter. And sorry I didn't mention this sooner, but I have to meet up with a friend later. Oh. Alan's face seemed to fall. All the joy and positivity now sucked out of him. You can come if you want. I'm sure Erica wouldn't mind. His face didn't seem to change expression. Not only an eye twitch. Not even eye twitch. Erica? He mumbled under his breath, carefully considering the invite. If you don't want to, then that's okay. No, I'm going. I blinked at him. Well, if you're sure. Alan smiled at me as I grabbed our plates. That was a little strange from him. I hope I didn't make him feel obligated to come with me. After some time, I was able to remember where the park actually was. I don't visit much, only came for the occasional walk. It wasn't too busy around the time. There was an occasional kid here and there. The place was often taken over by old people feeding the pigeons and students from the campus. and Peter trying to stalk our YN, or stalk us at the same time. If I was really lucky, I could listen to some live music from the music groups and some tips from the locals. I even heard about late night college parties being hosted, but I wasn't usually invited to any of them. The telltale signs of the party did happen. The park would be littered with those typical red solo cups. Oh, those things. I looked over to Alan, expecting him to have something to say, but I was met with an unpleasant look from him. Oh, he seemed off. His eyes scanned around almost like he was on guard. He saw that I was looking at him and stiffly smiled at me, trying to come off that he wasn't bored at all. I nervously flashed him back a grin in return. Lion! I hear my name through the whole commotion of the park. There sat Erica on the bed of green grass, and lacy pink blanket spread on the ground. Did she set up the stay day like a picnic? She even packed snacks and drinks. I think it's a date. She might think it's a date. You made it. I briefly waved to Erica as we both approached her. Her usual apathetic face never faltered, even when she caught a glimpse of the sight of Alan. Oh, you brought a friend? Yes. He's my Yandere boyfriend. She walked over to Alan. She seemed a little shaken back. In all fairness, I probably should have advised her beforehand. You don't mind, hopefully? There was an awkward pause. Erica nervously adjusted her skirt before giving a response, but she still kept her cool head. No, that's fine, but this means I didn't bring enough food to feed all 4 of us. 4? Why in? I heard a voice coming from my right, and I was met with a beautiful, cheerful face.
Hey!
Hey, Wyan. I recognized that dorky smile from anywhere. Stu? I can hear the name Stu, and I'm like, I think a certain movie with a slasher. My eyes suddenly blink, and the hamster wheels in my head quickly start to turn. Or Rugrats.
You're here! It's been so long!
I stood there for a couple seconds in complete shock. The butthole I haven't seen since high school. I couldn't help but smile at him. What the heck are you even doing here? You didn't tell me you were around. I want to surprise you. Isn't that cool? Erica said that she knew you and agreed to invite me to a study date so we could see each other. Oh, and we have Yandere. You guys are now probably on his list. Hesitantly agreed. Yeah, I didn't think to realize me and Stu were letting our conversation get in the way of the study date until Erica cut it short, clearing her throat sternly. Mind tell me that change of plans, Lion? All right. I nervously rubbed the back of my neck and gestured to Alan, who was standing right behind me. I didn't take into account that Alan was being left out of the chit-chat in my reunion. This is my boyfriend. This is Alan. We crossed paths not too long ago, and he's my boyfriend. We just kind of kissed. As soon as I introduced him, I was met with silence. Erica and Stu looked baffled. Alan hasn't said even uttered a word. Hi. Alan's voice shook me up a bit. I couldn't help but let out a nervous laugh. Pleasure. Hey. Everyone falls into awkward silence. Only the nature fully of the park. Filling the dead air, I have to think of a conversation start quick. Talk to talk to Stu or talk to Alan. Expression softened. Unease fell to the pit of my stomach. Usually Alan was more or less talkative with me, but then again, he told me he never really interacted with anyone else. I'm the only one he had spoken to. Quite frankly, I thought he was kind of exaggerating. I mean, Doomsbury was a small college town. Almost everyone knew each other, even if it was through a friend of a friend. We all sat down together, all the neat little circle, the basket of food practically set in the middle. Alan sat the closest to me, dropping down to the grass to position his knees up to his chest. I saw Erica take out some assignment and a book we had been assigned. Should I go over to the lesson for you? That would be nice. Erica nodded at me, graciously placing a pencil right behind her ear while flipping through the textbook. Throughout the day, we mostly talked amongst ourselves while Alan and Stu sat in awkward silence. I looked over to Erica, noting how her fingers lightly traced over the text on the surface of the page. The book Erica was holding caught my attention. It looked rather old. The edges already faded from the original color, and the paper crackled with every movement. So, what book did you pick up for our assignment? Erica turned over to the cover of the book, and I read its title. Whispers of the Hanged? Is it about the witch trials or something? The title sounded a little gruesome. So, what's it about? The actual history of Salem witch trials. It goes through all the grim details of the woman that time went through, and the gruesome executions. I was literally just watching a documentary on Hulu about the witch trials in general. First episode was the Salem witch trials. That's a bit barbaric, eh? That was a beat of silence. There was a beat of silence. Erica gave him a look. I wasn't sure what to describe it. But was that anger, surprise, or both? Or, yeah, both of them. I feel like I should say something, but ease the tension. It is barbaric, but that's history, you know. I forced out a smile, trying to get through the others to join. The only one that did was Stu. Alan simply crossed his arms, and Erica remained silent, but looked down at her book. I'm not a fan of real-life violent crimes. And you're Yandere. Aw. Definitely not Peter. Or reading it for that matter. It's actually fascinating too, and is actually the reason why we have history. Histories of porn is so we don't repeat it. Despite people not actually paying attention, it ends up repeating.
It's not your assignment.
Oh, that's so much for that plan. I did the best I could. The tension was so thick that you could cut it with a knife. Peter, give me your knife. Cut. Hey, YN! Stu waved in front of me, graciously saving me from the awkward moment. I hope you didn't replace me already. Look at you guys making friends. Yeah, I don't know if I was dating you or not, but yeah, I replaced you. I let out a sigh of relief, and I was sure that Erica did so too. All attention was now on Stu. If I knew him well enough, he would try his best not to appear socially awkward. Hopefully he can ramble his way out of this one. This takes me back when we used to do homework together, remember? Oh yeah, you copied off me. You let me, and not all the time. Stu stumbled on his words and let out the wow pow. We would study in the old treehouse of yours. When rowdy, we would watch anime. Okay, Stu is best friend. I aimed at him. I smiled at him. Memories flooding back with so much warmth still lingering in them. I was pretty sure Stu's parents knew we weren't actually studying, but they didn't stop us. Stu gave me a smile, shuffling closer to me, naturally drawn to me again. Anime? I jumped, startled by Alan speaking. Stu appeared to as well, his face going white as he looked over my shoulder. I didn't even know Alan stood right behind me, his hot breath at my back. Yeah, do you watch it too? Alan wasn't planning on replying anytime soon. He was like an on and off switch, only replying with little to no words as possible, and became silent again. Every time someone tried to calm down the situation, the atmosphere would become hostile again. I was starting to regret bringing Alan with me. Yeah, I try to speak to again.
Listen, man. I'm trying to be as friendly as I can with you.
Stu spoke up before. There was still some hesitation with the way he spoke. We're trying. He proceeded to gesture to both him and Erica, much to her surprise.
I get that you're also a friend of theirs, and we don't have to be your friends, but throw us a freaking bone. You don't have to be here.
There was a beat of silence. My heart could stop beating right then and there. Who are you again? Do you even have plans after the whole college thing? From what I sing, I can't really see you having a stable career. Any back up plans if it goes south? Alan? That's most college students.
Okay then, that's it.
Like me, one backup plan. I get a backup plan and that one fails. Erica closed the textbook she was currently reading. Oh, I think we should call it off from here. I blink a little, taken back by Erica's abrupt leave. I mean, he's literally just assaulting college students at this point. Erica? I can't concentrate like this. I could try to plan out another day to study, hopefully with no other interruptions. And so yeah, with me, with most of it anymore, you go to college and you still can't find a degree in your field. A job in your field. There was a beat of silence as Erica gave Alan a side eye. Alan only drilled holes in her in turn. Without a moment to lose, Erica packed everything, but let us keep the snacks she brought. See you around, Ryan. Later, Stu. I watched her leave, feeling a bit defeated. I guess this is also my cue to leave, huh? I looked back at Stu, blades of glass falling from his pants as he patted himself down. Sorry things got out of hand. We could hang out next time when you're free. I don't think I'll be free. He might kidnap me. Stu gave me a reassuring smile and bid farewell. He didn't even bother to say anything to Helen. Ellen might kidnap me. Okay, probably won't. Oh wait, he's a Yandere. Probably will. I mean, I don't blame him, but with how things turned out, well, that was a disaster. I couldn't stop replaying what happened over and over again in my head. Seeing Stu and Erica's face be so upset and even unsettled. I want everyone to get along, but... Doe Eyes, are you mad? Alan didn't seem to get it. Really, what makes you think that? I snap at him, rubbing the bridge of my nose in frustration. I just wanted to go home, and here Alan is walking behind me like a lost dog. I didn't mean to upset you. Oh, so upsetting Eric and Stu was the intent, right? He went as we both breached the door in front of my house. Well, you did invite me. He spoke in a mumbling soft tone. Alan looked down at the ground, anxiety hitting it with the tip of his shoe. His eyes looked at me like if I just kicked a puppy. He had a point. I did drag him in the park. But how was I supposed to know he would pull a stunt like that? I felt like Erica was beginning to enjoy my company. Stu was there for me after so long. Was this whole thing my fault?
They shouldn't have left you.
Huh?
They left you. I know I'm not the best to be around other people, but that doesn't mean they can leave you behind when things get intense.
Yeah, but you're probably... I was gonna say you said that you don't like violence, but I'm guaranteed you would. You're right there, like your Vader, like the knife and go get his face on him. I did. I stare at him, and he did. So with me, it only hit me that unlike Stu and Erica, he stood by my side. I'm still upset, but it was less on him. I didn't know why I didn't expect him. I didn't know why I didn't expect him, a woodsman, all isolated by himself in some cabin, wouldn't get along with other people. Then why is it when I interact with him, he's so easy to talk to? I sighed. Mind if I stay? Whatever. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some extra blankets and a pillow for you. Oh, you don't have to, Doe Eyes. I can't leave you pillowless, Alan. Besides, I'm kinda cold. I quickly run upstairs to my bedroom, leaving Alan by his lonesome for now. Luckily for him, my bed was swarmed with multiple blankets and pillows. It was like my own little comfort nest where I could rot away. I'll say the bed does not have as much blankets as mine. And I don't... half the year I don't need it. I pick up a decently thick, cozy blanket and a pillow, bundled up in my arms, and the cords dragging across the floor as I awkwardly made my way downstairs again. I could even see the steps of the stairs with the blankets wrapped around me like some cocoon, but I managed to make it alive. Alan gave me a smile, still sitting on my couch, looking like a lost dog waiting for its owner. Throw the pillow at him. Hand him the pillow. I decided to be nice, walking over to him, simply handing him the pillow. He gladly took it off my hands and placed it on his lap. I popped myself beside him on the couch, throwing the blankets across the couch. It was slowly landed on both me and Alan, taking its warmth. Now it was just us, opposite sides of the couch, in cozy glow from the TV in silence. Yeah, just us. Hey. I smiled warmly at him, but there was a dreadful, awkward silence between us. My eyes wandered off, panicking on what to say next. It's been a while since I watched some TV. Thankfully, Alan brought up a topic. Same, I haven't sat down in my living room and watched something in a while. I heard some shuffling from the couch. He was getting closer. You know, we kinda have a Netflix and chill session. We're having a Netflix and chill session. Yeah, but that involves a different type of thing. I nervously laugh, scratching the side of my cheek. What's that? Alan looked at me with those big, confused eyes of his. You don't know? Alan shook his head, leaving me dumbfounded. I guess that makes some sense. He was out in the woods. He was exactly someone I would take to understand modern slang, but he must have some knowledge, right? God, now I have to explain what that means. Well, it's a thing when people do. It's a sort of casual date or a thing, you know? There was a terrible exploration plan. Yeah, terrible. So do you want to call this a date? I mean, it's on the casual side, like you said. It's too casual or something. We could just say we're hanging out. I could only look at him, too stunned to speak, but I sensed that he was waiting for a response, for me to hint at something more. Like he actually knows. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Alan tilted his head to the side like a confused dog. He had a whole focus on me. His whole focus on me. He shifted closer. Well, think about it. I gave it some thought, huddling my legs together. I was hesitant to answer. What could I even say to him? I wasn't even sure how to feel about the situation. Alan just walked into my life, and he was just kinda here now. Like a pesky stray following me around and phasing to leave. I occasionally look back to Alan, those hopeful puppy eyes staring back at me. I couldn't put my finger on it. It was getting hard to befriend people as you get older, especially when you don't have a group to back you up. As I spoke, I didn't face him. My eyes stayed glued to the ground, piercing the air wherever my mind thought of. But having someone like you immediately clicks feels freeing. There was a beat of silence before I felt the wave shifting on the other side. Next thing I knew, I was being pushed down on my back, Alan slowly creeping towards me. Then that's a good thing, right? He had me cornered. The most I could do was just lie there, stunned.
I could get rid of everything for you, though. If you let me.
I swallowed nervously. I couldn't speak, like something was stuck in my throat. His eyes pierced mine. It was almost uncanny that I couldn't guess what he was thinking. What should I even say? It felt like an eternity of nothing but silence, my heart beating at like a drum. I wanted to stay quiet, as if silence would take me out of this situation. Well, but Al is not letting go without an answer. Say that you like him. Maybe I would like that. Maybe I like you. Alan huffed out a short, breathy laugh. That's what I wanted to hear.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I felt his hands reach for my face, and he leans in, sealing both of us into a kiss. It was desperate, needy. Alan clung to me like his life depended on it. I didn't try to pull away. I couldn't help but find it intoxicating. I could barely breathe. Alan, I gasped out to breathe some air, leaving Alan breathing heavily. And looking at me, those eyes grokking at me like a fresh meat starved. Immediately Alan tapped the crook of my neck, preparing kisses and nibbling my civil skin. Then he bent down. Wait, I know it's not the most romantic setting, but are we really doing this? Do you want to? Ask him to stop, keep going. Well, because I'm gonna have to be, because of YouTube, ask him to stop. Can we maybe not? Alan's eyes softened before peeling away from me. Yeah, I'm sorry, we can stop. Alan pulled himself away from me, letting me sit up from the couch normally. I could probably do it later on in our playthrough, but yeah, we're gonna have to make it sort of PG-13 because of YouTube's guidelines. I might have gone a little carried away there. His voice sounded almost pained and disappointed. I rubbed my arm and shifted uncomfortably. Alan finally looked at me, his eyes widened with puppy-like stare. I couldn't help but feel a little bad for him. I should at least make it up to him, right? Let's just take things slow, okay? Okay here? Pat the seat next to you. Pat your lap. Pat the seat next to you. I think he would probably crush me. I softly pat the cushion next to me. To get him to move closer, Alan took a little hesitant, but followed suit, scooching over. I laid my head on his shoulder. It was a little awkward, but I soon warmed up to it. Comfy? Alan nodded, and we both sat in peaceful silence again. The TV softly drowned out our surroundings, and my eyes began to feel heavy. End of day 2. And that was my dear Hatchet Man. If you like my content, please subscribe, like the video. If you like my content, please subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below, like the video, and because it will help the algorithm. And I'll see you guys next time.